because Davenport needs to get back for practice. So we're going to start with Robyn and Momo. You guys are free to share about your team.
Hi, I'm Robyn Scherr-Wells. We're really excited about our upcoming season at Davenport. I think you're going to see a really exciting team to watch. We've got 12 returning players and 4 new players, so we're bringing back a lot of experience from last year's team that made it to the Sweet 16. We really want to get out and score some points. I think we averaged about 84 last year. We should be right at that clip this year. I'm hoping a little bit higher. I'm hoping we can get right up kind of mid to upper 80s this season. We've got a lot of firepower. We've got some kids that can really put the ball in the bucket. So we're going to play fast and get up and down, and if we can get our point guards healthy, I think we're going to be in really good shape as we move forward. We've spent all of our preseason without either of our point guards, and we're just getting both of them back. So we're still kind of working through some chemistry things here in the early preseason. Had a chance to get a scrimmage in under our belts this past week, and thought our 2 point guards coming in, they're a little out of shape for where they need to be. I still thought they did a really nice job. So if we can get them healthy, I think we're really looking at having a first string and a second string that really both groups could be our starting group. And we're just very, very fortunate and blessed this year with depth and a really talented group of seniors. And then this young lady behind me as a junior. We'll definitely rely on Momo Neal to be one of our leaders out there, and she really is. She's just part of the heart and soul of our program. An unbelievable young woman, just in her demeanor, how coachable she is. So we're really looking to her to continue to provide that leadership for our group on the court. Certainly the WAC, I think that the conference, just top to bottom, is going to be a lot stronger this year. I definitely think it's going to be a grind. I mean, there are a lot of teams in our conference that definitely scare me as we get towards games. So I think it's just going to be an awesome conference season. But first, we've got some tough non-conference games coming up that I think will prepare us well. We've got two good teams coming to play us at home before we head on the road. And fourth game of the season, we'll be playing St. Xavier down in Chicago. I expect them to be in the top 5 here in the preseason. I'm guessing that we'll probably be in the top 10. Those polls come out tomorrow. So I think that's going to be a good early season matchup for us and hopefully help us see where we're at as we prepare for conference play. So excited, definitely think our conference is going to be really, really good and really fun to watch this year. Any questions?
You spoke a little bit to your depth. You were a very deep team last year. How important is that depth to the style you want to play, scoring all those points, and how do you like your depth this year?
Very important for the style that we want to play. And honestly, Coach Paddock touched on that a little bit. I've always adjusted my style a bit on the personnel you have, and I think you'll see us press a lot more this year because of our depth. We had decent depth last year, but I think I think our depth is a lot stronger this year. This year we have a second group that honestly could be our starting group as well. It didn't feel that way last year, while we certainly had nice depth last year. So yeah, that definitely influenced kind of how we're approaching the start of our season and how hard we want to push the ball. But definitely, we didn't press a ton last year. It didn't fit our personnel as well as I'd hoped it would, and so we ended up playing a lot more half-court defense. I think that's going to be a difference, this season. We can get up and pressure some people.
Is there a difference for you, this being your second year as opposed to last year when it was your first?
Definitely a difference. It takes a year just to get to know kids and them get to know you and to build that trust. It takes time. So I think that the players this year, and especially having such a core group of returning players, they know me so much better this year round. So I think that, again, you spend that year building that trust, and they're just a fantastic group to coach. It's really been an awesome preseason. They've jumped in with 2 feet. They're all in, and they're getting after it.
You talked about scoring a high number of points per game and speeding everything up. That also falls in hand with your defense. So what are you trying to kind of hold teams to as far as points go and everything as well? I mean, just speeding the game up like that, obviously the scores will rise.
We don't typically put a number on it. To be honest, we're trying to outscore people and get key stops. Last year, I think we gave up about 60 points a game. Would I like it to be around there again? Yeah, of course. Is that realistic? Probably not. I also think our conference is a lot stronger. So I think as you speed the game up, especially with pressing, you're going to give up some quick points at times. And we have to be okay with that. We've talked a lot about it with the girls that, in a high risk situation, sometimes you're going to give those points, but hopefully the reward's greater. And we want to wear teams out. And we've got a lot of depth. So that is definitely the purpose behind it.
When you guys make it to nationals, how do you get to that next step? How do you advance past to where you were last year? And what are some of the things you've seen your players do in the offseason to get to that point?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly haven't even looked that far ahead. I mean, we truly approach every game like it's our championship game. And like I said, I think the WAC is just really, really strong this year. That being said, of course, it is our goal to win the WAC for our 11th time and to make it to the national tournament. But I think if we continue to approach each game like it's our championship game and continue to get better, hopefully that stuff in the postseason will take care of itself by the way we play now here early in the season.
As you look at your program now and where your team is over, then you have your first year, then you're going to have to transition to WAC the next year. Does it seem like it's an ever-evolving process for you? And how impressed are you when you came in where the program is at, your recognition being statewide?
Oh, absolutely. And that was one of the draws to the job, was the reputation of the program and how successful it had been, and certainly the culture that was here when I got here. You're always very fortunate when you get to step into that type of position. It has felt a little bit like a whirlwind, but I think this being my second year, I do feel like I'm settling in, even though we're about to embark upon this big transition next season. I feel a lot like Coach Paddock does. It's bittersweet, and we're excited for what's ahead. But I was in the NAI before I got to Davenport, so I'm now in my 8th year in the NAI, and we've made some awesome relationships in this. And the national tournament is one of the most special things you can be a part of. The way they do it out in Sioux City. So certainly just focused on making this last year in the NAI the best year we possibly can. And I do think we have a group of players that were not satisfied with how we finished the season last year. So they've been hungry and they're ready to go. I mean, they really compete hard every day. I'm so impressed at just the level of competition that occurs on a daily basis in practice, and how coachable they are and how willing they are to be pushed. When you push them, they dig in. They don't give you bad looks. They're not that type of group that goes off and complains. They want to be pushed. They want those high standards. So, that part is just, it really makes my job a lot easier. It truly is really fun to go to practice every day because I just get excited to see how the kids are going to compete.
Momo, how are things been in the offseason for you and your team? What are some of the things that you guys collectively have worked on to better yourself?
I think we compete better. We go at each other every day. I think everybody is on the same page. Everybody do what we have to do to get, to the national championship or win the first game. Or, it's a lot of competitiveness, and we all just, compete.
What do you think would be the biggest difference from your team this year as opposed to last year? Obviously, you don't want to be too different because you guys are good, but what might be the biggest difference for you guys?
We lost a couple shooters and good post players, but I feel like this year we got a lot of people that could fill them spots. Like, everybody can contribute to the team this year.
What's been the biggest difference with Coach, from year 1 to year 2? Have you seen a difference at all?
Like she said, she's happier, and she believes in us, so.
Any other questions for Davenport? All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.